must have even in contact with him.
Had to have been the contact that off of the break, because certainly nothing from that replay.
And the ball wouldn't have been in the air alone with it. Hand off to Horde, who cuts back and pounds close to the 15-yard line. William Thomas stacked it up. And a flag down as a fight breaks out between Orlando Brown and a couple of the Eagles.
No question about it. This is a game for pride. The Cleveland Browns, everyone has scoffed at their 7-2 record. They point to the fact they haven't beaten anybody with a winning record except the Jets, and they're only 5-4. Very emotional, very physical game.
We got a personal foul on number 77 of the offense. We have a personal foul retaliation, number 95. The down is over. It's second down.
Orlando Brown and William Fuller. Now, earlier when the Browns had the ball deep in the Eagle territory, Leroy Horde had carried inside the 5, but the play came back on a hold by Orlando Brown. Then again, Brian Kinchen, for unsportsmanlike, took him out of field goal range, and an interference by Antonio Langham covered 47 yards to put the Eagles in position to get their first score. 10-7 Cleveland. Ripping for the end zone for Metcalf, incomplete. Metcalf well covered. Greg Jackson, the free safety, preventing the completion.
Orlando Brown is really getting a lot of help over here on the right side of your screen against William Fuller. Brian Kinchen is helping him, knocking him down. They don't want William Fuller to dominate this game from his defensive end position. He went through a streak of 7 straight games with a sack and has really gained the attention of the league.
3rd and 7 for the Browns. Draw play. Flag down as the touchdown is scored by Ernest Biner, but a flag came flying and it may nullify the score. You see the reaction of Mark Rippon.
Holding, number 66 of the offense. 10 yards, repeat third down.
Tony Jones with a hold nullifies the Biner score, and penalties are killing the Cleveland Browns.
Tony Jones right out here. Couldn't really tell exactly where the hold took place, but big play really didn't have to hold. The defensive end working his way up the field. All Tony Jones had to do was just push him on up.
And those numbers of the penalties don't tell the real story. They have killed scoring chances for the Browns and given the Eagles one on the other side. Rippon scrambling, throws it incomplete. Britt Hager almost had the interception, did manage to knock it down. Mark Carrier, the intended receiver. So the penalty nullifies a Cleveland touchdown, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Boy, and Carrier was open in the back of the end zone. Hager showing that good solid 3-inch vertical jump, got up there and knocked that one down. Not bad for a linebacker. Tony Jones explaining what happened to him.
His hold nullified the touchdown. So Stover will attempt from 42 yards. It's going to be close. It just got there. 42 yards looked to be the limit of Stover's range, but it went through, and it's 13-7 Browns. 13-7 Browns. Baldwin's long kickoff return setting up Stover's 10th straight field goal. Well, tonight prime time is action-packed here on NBC at 7 o'clock, 6 Central. It's the show the critics call compelling, provocative, and impressive. It's the newest hit drama of the year, Earth 2. Great reviews after the premiere last week, and great numbers too. Then the Sequest must stop the ultimate cyborg war machine. All new tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central here on NBC.
And Tom, one thing that I've really enjoyed in the National Football League this year has been the kickoff returns. The rule changes, the 1-inch tee, the moving it back to the 30-yard line. can see how much of a difference it makes. Teams are having to bring that ball back on kickoff returns. It's added some excitement to the game.
More returns and longer returns. This is Herschel Walker. Walker trying to do a Randy Baldwin, takes it all the way to the 30-yard line where Stacy Hairston trips him up. A 27-yard return for Herschel.
Thought it was interesting what Rich Kotite said about Herschel Walker yesterday. He said, money no longer motivates this man. He comes out here because he loves to play the game of football. On all the special teams, returns the kicks, do anything you ask. Really written off as washed up by the Minnesota Vikings. Come here and really revitalized his career. Was voted the Eagles offensive MVP last year by his teammates.
Three wide receiver formation for the Eagles. Victor Bailey, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett. There'll be a 5-yard penalty as Broderick Thompson came out of his stance too early.
Number 76, 5 yards. It's still first down.
Another former defensive lineman, Broderick Thompson, was traded from the Chargers last year, and they've really made a lot of improvements on this Philadelphia offensive line. #1 draft picks, Bernard Williams, Antone Davis, Lester Holmes, David Alexander having a Pro Bowl year. If you had to pick out a weak spot, probably would be Broderick Thompson at the right tackle position.
Blitz comes and the Eagles pick it up. Cunningham has plenty of room to run. Dives to the 37-yard line. Eric Turner covers him there. Eagles in their hurry up with the 2-minute warning approaching.
And when Randall Cunningham starts to scramble, the linebackers and defensive backs are afraid to come tackle because they'll step back and take the ball and throw it down the field. What makes him such a dangerous threat.
Barnett puts on the pressure. Cunningham delivers it complete to Barnett. Fred Barnett picks up the first down. Or he's tackled by Benny Thompson. And the clock will stop for the 2-minute warning. Timeout at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Browns lead the Eagles 13-7. 6 left, 13-7. Cleveland over Randall Cunningham and the Eagles. Bad news for the Eagles defense. Byron Evans has suffered a fractured right fibula, and his season is over.
It's a small bone in the lower part of the leg. It's much worse if it's the tibia than the fibula, though.
Low snap. Cunningham having trouble picking it up. The ball's still free. Michael Dean Perry was right on top of Cunningham as he tried to pick up that low snap from center David Alexander, but the Eagles got it back.
Michael Dean Perry lined up cocked on David Alexander and looked like may have intimidated Alexander a bit there.
2nd and 18. Cunningham chased out of the pocket. He set sail down the sideline and ducks out of bounds at about the 47. It'll be enough for a Philadelphia first down. Benny Thompson again forcing Randall Cunningham out of bounds, stopping the clock at 1:17.
Rich Kotite told us yesterday that he now feels that Randall Cunningham is the best 2-minute quarterback in the National Football League. He said, I know John Elway is great at it, but there's so many dimensions to Randall Cunningham. And you can still see the way that the defense reacts. Even when he starts to scramble, no one makes a move towards him because he keeps those eyes down the field.
He's rushed for 31 yards today. 7 of 13 only, 37 yards passing. Short drop. Short hop to the receiver. Herschel Walker. 4th down now. I said first down a moment ago, and it was not. He just got back to the 10-yard marker. So it's a 4th down situation for Rich Kotite. What do? You send your punter out?
Yeah, no question about it. You're in a 13-7 game, playing at home. You don't want to give the Browns any cheap points right before the half. Although, number 21 is back there on the 10-yard line.
Metcalf at the 10. Barker, you remember, shanked him last time. Got a penalty for throwing his helmet. Metcalf with a fair catch at the 21-yard line with the clock showing 1:06, only a 32-yard punt, and Barker hears the cheers for which Philadelphia is famous. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime reports. Greg Gumbel and Mike Ditka will have the scores and highlights for you, and a report on hard hits or cheap shots. Vinny Testaverde there, number 12, knows about those hard hits.
We got them from the coaching staff this past week. It's interesting what Vinny was saying, that they tested him to see if he could hold up. Literally, the coaching staff stood in front of and behind him with big blocking dummies and medicine balls, and they just beat on him. They pounded on him from the front, pounded on him from the back, and it was good to know that I could hold up to it, but I told each and every one of them, eventually I'll get you.
Having survived that, he decided to pass the game today. Metcalf, nowhere to go. Great penetration on the defense from William Fuller. Fuller knows about Metcalf from his 8 years with the Oilers.
A little surprised that the Eagles not calling some timeouts here. They might have a chance to get the football back.
Well, if nothing else, the Eagles have held Eric Metcalf in check. 3 carries for a -7 yards. And clock just ticking away. Cleveland's happy with that result, and the Eagles, for some reason, electing not to stop it. Metcalf again. And now they call a timeout with 19 seconds left. Well, they wasted a ton of time on that last possession, or last run by Metcalf.
It'll be a 40-second timeout.
Absolutely makes no sense whatsoever to me. They had all 3 timeouts remaining.
Set the clock to 2-0.
The Browns were backed up to their own 17, 18-yard line. Why not take those timeouts? They're not going to try anything down the field. Odds are they're not going to be able to put any points on the board. Obviously, Cleveland just wanted to run out the clock.
No advantage to taking him to the locker room with you.
Boy, that one, beyond me. I don't understand it.
So poor clock management by the Philadelphia Eagles bench.
And really a gift for the Browns. Even if they don't pick up the first down here, they can just punt the football away. Only 20 seconds remain. And Randall Cunningham will have no chance whatsoever to get anything done, although they will have saved 1 timeout. So if Randall can complete a pass after the punt, maybe a shot at the field goal. I think he'd rather have the 20 to 25 seconds that ticked off.
Baldwin makes sure he stays in bounds and ducks down at the 25-yard line as the Eagles stop the clock again, this time with 13 ticks remaining.
Very unusual. Probably Randall Cunningham asking the same question. Why didn't you take the timeouts?
So 13 seconds left, and perhaps a missed opportunity for the Eagles. Well, next Sunday here on NBC, we'll have more exciting NFL action. It starts at 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. And most of you will see Boomer Esiason and the Jets go to the Metrodome to play the hot Minnesota Vikings, quarterbacked by Warren Moon, one of the best defenses in the league, and Warren Moon with their offense now cranking at full speed. Some of you will see Dan Marino and the Dolphins against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Others will see Joe Montana and the Chiefs host the Cleveland Browns, or the Colts collide with the Bengals. Check your local listings for the game in your area next week here on NBC. Metcalf and Horde. The Horde has been somewhat of a trickster on Metcalf.
Absolutely, yes. He snuck in the back of his car one time. He has those automatic garage door openers and car starters, and one time Leroy Horde popped in the back of Eric Metcalf's car, scared the daylights out of him. Said his heart didn't stop beating fast for a couple of days after that. Good friends, man. They're right next door to each other.
Next door neighbors.
On the offense. 5 yards. It's still 4th down.
So they have game call on the Browns. Puts them 5 yards further back. What was the story of that?
Well, after a timeout, you would assume you could get your guys on the field and punt the football.
This has been a bizarre first half, really, and a lot of mistakes to go with some fine play, chiefly with the Browns.
Now the Browns take a timeout.